everybody. Welcome back to episode 88 Talkoffamepod podcast with your host, Kylie Montigney. I'm so excited to have on host of Just Talk with Gabe and founder of Action Magazine, Gabriel Silva. Thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me. What's going on?
Everything all good. How are you doing? It's been so long since we talked on your podcast, right?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, how's the podcast going?
Podcast is going great. I'm on hiatus currently, about to wrap up with a new season, and we'll just see what happens.
Yeah, I'm happy. Like, when will new season be out?
Ooh, new season. It'll be out real soon.
Oh, I'm so excited.
On hiatus still, but we'll see how it goes. A couple months, it'll be out.
I'm so excited. So, what made you want to start Just Talk with Gabe in the first place?
All right, so we're gonna go all the way back to 2020, right?
Yeah.
That year. That was a crazy year.
Yeah, it was.
I was very bored out of my mind because I didn't have many auditions for acting. So I was just sitting around playing video games all day, and I got old fairly quickly. So I decided, you know what, I want to do something. Talked with my mom and figured out an idea. Hey, I'll just do a podcast. And so started with that. And it took off. And I didn't expect it to take off. It was literally just something I was doing to not be bored. And I'm happy to say it's become something so much more than that.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I was. Like, I started my podcast later than you did. I started early in 2021, and I was actually bored as well. All I was doing was watching television all day, every single day, and I was bored since in quarantine we're allowed to leave our houses, like due to COVID. No one knew what was going on. So right. Like, I'm bored. Like, I can't do anything. So I'm going to start a podcast as a joke. I never expected it to kind of blow off like it has. But like when I started it, I'm like, well, I guess it's more than a hobby now to get something to do other than watching television in the first place.
I still watch a lot of television, still play a lot of video games, but I just do this too.
Yeah, exactly. So do I. So like, you were like an actor and model. What made you want to kind of start doing that and being in front of the camera and being just in the entertainment industry as well?
Well, it wasn't initially an interest. Back when I was a kid, I wanted to be an engineer. But what happened was in elementary school, I had been bullied because of my height and lack of athleticism. And so my mother put me in acting classes to build up my self-esteem. And from there, it just took off, and I decided this is what I'm going to do with my life. And been doing it ever since.
That's awesome. Since like you said you got bullied and stuff, like how did acting kind of help you in that way? Since obviously like you're being bullied and all these things, you are being bullied for something that you can't really control. Like, how did acting help you kind of shape that?
Initially, it was more or less just a distraction from the negativities of bullying and everything. And then by the time I grew around 10, it would just consume so much of my life that I was just like, hey, what's the point of this anymore? I'm just going to go be an actor and have fun. And so I actually ended up becoming full-time homeschool because it got to the point where my elementary school wouldn't allow me to do both. And so I'd say it's helped, acting in general, just helped with confidence, definitely.
Exactly. You created a magazine to help something against bullying, right?
Definitely, yeah. That was the point of it, because back in California, when I was there, I realized some of my friends back home were being bullied. And so I wanted to do something to raise awareness towards the issue, and eventually that became what is that magazine.
And that's awesome. Like, where can people find the magazine if they want to look into it? Because obviously you guys had me part of the magazine, and it was so amazing. Like, where can people find it?
Just type in actionmagazine.com and it's there, because actually it's too big for the phone. It's gotten to the point where it just crashes anything that isn't a laptop.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I'm very proud to say that, considering it took off and just became something really huge.
That's amazing. Like, did you ever expect it to become as big as it did? Or you just thought it was something small?
I didn't know what it would become. It was just like, this is something we're going to do. We'll see what happens and go from there. And it took off in a way I wasn't expecting, and I'm happy for it. And I want to see where it goes from there.
Love it. So do you, as we turn back to Just Talk with Gabe and everything, do you have a favorite guest or had an interview that kind of meant the most to you or stuck out to you the most?
I love all of my guests on the podcast, definitely. But I'd say the one that really got to me the most was I got to interview my favorite rock bands called Rivals. And it was just a long shot. We emailed them. We were like, hey, do you want to be on my little podcast? Didn't expect them to actually reach back to me, but they did. And I had a blast.
That's amazing. What did like? Do you have a favorite like song by them, or is this something that they said that kind of stuck out to you during an interview? Like when you talked to them?
Well, what they told us was essentially the gist of it. Whatever you do in life, try to find the people you can relate with the most and stick with them. Don't do anything alone. And I guess that advice, it stuck with me definitely.
That's amazing. Like you turned Just Talk with Gabe to a mini TV series talk show behind the mic, right?
Right, behind the mic. We just wrapped up season 2 of that. And it's definitely a lot of fun. Switching from just audio to visual was certainly an experience, but Zoom has helped with that a lot.
Yeah.
We didn't even know what Zoom was a couple of years ago, and now it's just become this big thing. It's kind of fun to think about.
Yeah, like what made you want to turn something more into Just Talk with Gabe? Like what is the idea to turn into something bigger than it was?
Once again, just boredom, trying to figure out new things to do. And we just did it.
It's awesome. So you got to be on the big screen with big stars like Ben Affleck, Zoe Saldana, and Live by Night. What was your experience working with them and being part of Live by Night?
Let's see, that was my first project that I got when I was 10 years old. And I think only now have I realized as I'm older how big of a deal that was. Because back when I was a kid, it was just, hey, I'm here to play, I'm here to have fun. But it was an experience. And actually being on set, talking to Ben Affleck in between the different takes, he would take me behind the scenes and show me how he was directing and making this film come to life. And that is what inspired me to try to become a director. So that's going to be my new thing.
No, that's insane. Like the first like role you get to work with Ben Affleck, like that's insane.
Yeah. It was definitely an experience. And let me tell you, he's like ginormous actually. So just looking up and just like, hi.
Yeah, exactly. Like you'd be like, oh, look, like not a lot of people get to work with like A-listers in their first role you ever had.
Right.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was definitely a lot of fun. It's a memory that I'll have forever.
For sure. So you also got to be part of 2019 box office hit Godzilla King of the Monsters alongside Elizabeth Ludlow, Anthony Ramos, and O'Shea Jackman. Do you have a favorite moment from filming the movie?
Oh, we joked around a lot on set. I just can't think of one single moment. It was just a lot of fun, a great experience. I think I got to do my own stunts actually.
Oh, really?
Something I'd never done before. And it was a lot of fun because actually, back when I was a kid, I used to take Taekwondo. And I was talking about that on set, and they pulled me aside and they were like, hey, you know that counts as stunt training, right? And then you qualify technically to do your own stunts if you want to. And so I was like, sure, why not? I'll do it.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was an experience.
Yeah, for sure. So you recently won the 2021 Young Artist Academy Award for Outstanding Podcast Host. How did you feel on winning that award from them?
We had a bet going, like we were just like, there's no way they're going to give it to me. I haven't worked hard enough for it. And it took us by complete shock, the fact that I had actually gotten the award. And when they announced it, we were just jumping up and down in the living room screaming. And it was just such an honor. Definitely that they recognize all that I have done and all that I continue to do. And it's sitting in my room somewhere, just hanging there, just like propped up there.
Yeah, did you go in person or was it virtual?
It was virtual. Now this year it will be live, so I'll be heading out to California to see it in person.
Oh, that's amazing! You're nominated again for it, like
I can safely say that yes, which is also a huge honor, just being nominated.
Oh, that's awesome. So the final question is, what is some advice for people that want to be a podcast host or just be in the entertainment industry in general?
In general, I would just say, don't let anything hold you back from your dreams. If this is what you want to do, I will tell you, it will take a lot of hard work. Nothing happens overnight. You may be working at this for years, but if this truly is something you want to do, don't let anything slow you down. because it'll be worth it in the end.
That's for sure. That is amazing. Like, what is the best advice you've gotten as your time through the entertainment industry? Like, what was like the best advice you've gotten for people?
Honestly, what I just said, for the most part, I think that advice, a lot of people have said what I've said, but
Mhm.
that's the best advice you can give, in my opinion. Just find something and stick with it and see what happens.
For sure. I love that, hands down. So thank you so much for coming on the podcast. It was so great speaking with you again. I congratulate you on being nominated for the award, and I hope everything turns out well and you win. So thank you so much for coming on, and let's speak soon for sure. Thank you so much.
Right, thank you so much.